Sniper elite? No, more like sniper repeatedly shooting nameless soldiers in the face. Sniper Elite is a game series whose very name strikes fear into any Nazi who dares possess vital organs during World War II. It's part Hitman, part espionage, and part human anatomy educator. Sniper Elite 5 feels like more of the best parts of this series bogged down by some of its most boring stories. Here we have,
Ferber.
Yeah, him, in an espionage executioner role across Europe in 1944. Deeply entrenched behind enemy lines, each of the 8 varied maps feature unique entry points, options for taking out enemies, and even a variety of exfilll strats. And while the sniping remains excellent, few engaging story beats being pulled out of that sniping far too often, and an AI that struggles with the very identity of being intelligence, they hold it back from being a true perfection of this series. Don't get me wrong though, the game design did shake up quite a bit of what makes this game great. But is it still just another excuse to shoot Nazis in the testicles? At the beginning of each level, it's revealed that they are far more deeply intricate, surprisingly large play areas, full to the brim with goose steppers. You can begin in the standard path of stealth by crouch walking until the arthritis hits, and you're forced out into an open fight. Thankfully, the folks over at Rebellion have left you with a generous bevy of tools with which to dispatch your enemies, or for those of you looking to return to the spy thriller tones, stealth your way back into the shadows where you will wait, patient, quiet. Boom! I got you. This game really does feel more akin to Hitman in the 1940s at times, and that can sometimes be for the better or for the worse. Yes, there are a lot of options to murk Nazis and their highly squishy vital organs, but the AI is often far too dumb for this to be fulfilling, or it's far too smart for it to not become the most frustrating thing in the world. I had multiple instances where I thought I stealthed past an enemy and I would literally see them pop into existence behind me. Where Hitman's freedom is crafted into the world itself, the lack of truly unique stealth options hold this back from reaching quite the same level of genuine, cold-hearted stealth killer man who wants to kill a man. Okay, let's talk graphics now. This entry looks a lot more well-realized, with sweeping vistas, intricately layered maps, and increased draw distance. It's all fantastic to look at, it's very pretty. It's super nice until you look at anyone who isn't the protagonist of the story. I mean, I know we're supposed to be killing soulless dirtbags, but why on earth are these doll-eyed cretins on my team then? I mean, the performance from the voice actors are pretty good, but my god, does that not translate into the expressions of these characters? Okay, look, so lifeless eyes aren't anything new in video games, but it's still jarring when you cut away from our hero who is far more fleshed out detail-wise and come to one of the many NPCs who look like if G.I. Joe action figures could talk. Across the 8 levels, variety isn't super great, but the levels themselves have a lot more character than those NPCs I just mentioned. Beautiful coastal forts, castles, and French countryside are just a few of the gorgeous locations you'll get to visit on your scenic route through World War II and the atrocities that happened there. What Rebellion levels lack in interesting locations, they make up for in their fantastic level design. Verticality is more at play here than ever, with a ton of ways to move through the layered areas. Nothing feels cooler than stealthing along a vine, hanging 50 feet off the ground, to get into a primo spot for sniping so you can perform surgical dentistry on a target with your bullets. This game does exceed my expectations though is in its deliberate use of sound. Everything has a real impact on the world around you. Planes buzz by over a Nazi training camp providing you with blistering enough noise to fire your incredibly loud sniper rifle. Movement can be heard from both from the player and from nearby guards and vehicles, giving players who keep their ear to the ground a unique advantage. The soundtrack is subtle throughout gameplay, only picking up pace and intensity when you go loud or get spotted. It's an excellent way to keep the players on edge. And let's not forget about the cartoonishly depicted Nazis in this game. The villains are at their most villainous whenever they're cackling madly or just having casual conversations about what their favorite gun is or their favorite kind of fruit. There's a lot of real casual German things happening here. Is that a thing? German, casual German? I don't know. This is a bad ending to this one. I'm going to the next thing. Look. Though this game suffers from its over-reliance on its tired World War II era, and I can't stress enough, game developers, please stop making World War II games for a little bit. I just need a break. There's been too many of them, and you're still making them. Stop. There's no denying how fun this gameplay loop is. Sniping here gives you the sense of a seasoned sharpshooter making impossible shots in the most fantastically cinematic way possible. Levels provide lots of options for mobility, and with a lot of customization, you truly can kill all the Nazis you want in whatever way you want. Now, if only it let you stay a sniper more often. Oh yeah, there is also a multiplayer mode and a survival mode, both of which are vaguely interesting, neither of which I truly enjoyed for longer than a couple of matches, so I'm not going to really cover them very much here. This is my review, and I do what I want. Sniper Elite 5 is a must-play for those looking to scratch that sharpshooter itch or a Hitman rash. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but hey, if it ain't broke, refresh it and release it in 4K. That's what I always say. I give this one an 8 out of 10. Now, do a modern one.